Nigeria Communication Commission meets with telecom consumer groups over imminent tariff hike. 11 people killed, 31 huts burned in Jigawa communal clashes. EFCC detains 10 officers for stealing cash gold exhibits. 5 killed, 80,000 evacuated in California wildfires. Hello, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to the news update on Trust TV. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. We begin in Abuja. The Nigeria Communications Commission has scheduled a stakeholders meeting in the capital this Thursday to discuss the proposed 100% tariff hike in the telecommunications sector. The meeting will bring together representatives from the major consumer advocacy groups and other relevant industry stakeholders to deliberate on the implications of the price increase. The president of the National Association of Telecommunications Subscribers, Adeolu Ogubanjo, who has been a major critic of the proposal, confirmed this development to newsmen on Wednesday. The operators, a major contributor to Nigeria's economy, argued that the hike is necessary to offset rising operational costs, including increasing fuel prices and the depreciation of the naira. The proposal has sparked concern among consumer rights groups, including the NATCOMs, with fear that such an increase could further strain Nigeria's already financially burdened population. Elsewhere, the Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, says telecom tariffs will soon increase, but not by 100%. Rising from a stakeholders meeting with mobile network operators on Wednesday in Abuja, the minister says consultations and engagements were ongoing. Reports say the operators are proposing a 100% increase in tariffs. He said that there was a need to ensure that telecommunications sector gets its acts together to ensure that the right regulations are put in place to ensure the growth of this sector. The minister also says the federal government would no longer leave investments and infrastructure in the sector to private companies alone. At least 11 people have been killed and 31 huts destroyed to ashes in Gululu village of Jahung and Miga local government area of Jigawa state. The incident reported on Friday, sparking tensions across communities in the area. Trust TV's Aliu Rabiu has more on this development.
The incident, which sparked tension and fear across the state, is the first of its kind, as only farmer-herder clashes have been recorded in recent years in the state. Since the state government addressed the clashes between Fulani herders and Hausa farmers last year, cases of such incidents reduced drastically. But early this year, crisis erupted between Hausa and Fulani groups as a result of theft accusation among them. Suleiman Abubakar Jahun, a Fulani elder who lost 5 children, recounted the horrific experience. Abubakar insists that his children are innocent as they were not involved in the fight. He appealed to the government to provide assistance as he is now responsible for caring for his 18 grandchildren. I'm still trying to come to terms with the loss of my 5 children. The pain is unbearable. But what is even more worrying is the responsibility that's being left on my shoulders. I appeal to the government and humanitarian organizations to please come to our aid. Another father who lost a child in the clash, Ahmadu Garba Jahun, urged security agencies to protect the area to avert any form of reprisals, as the community has already handed the incident to God. We are not seeking revenge, nor do we want to take the law into our hands. We just want the authorities to do their job and bring us justice. Other affected parents called for justice for all that were affected as a result of the incident and called on the government to intervene. I'm heartbroken over the loss of my child in this brutal communal clash. But my grief is not just about my personal loss. It is about the injustice that has been perpetrated against our community. We demand justice not just for my child, but for all the lives lost. Meanwhile, The Jigawa State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, has donated food items and cash to the affected families. The executive secretary of the agency attributed the clash to theft by unknown individuals, adding that after a search operation, the Hausa community traced the stolen goods to a Fulani settlement, a situation that escalated and led to the loss of lives and property.
Lack of patience and what have you, people have taken the law into their hands and killed themselves in the process of fight.
The chairman of Jahun local government area, Jamilu Muhammad Malam, described the incident as a minor issue that escalated into violence. He assured that the local government, in collaboration with the state government and security agencies, is working to restore peace and security in the area.
There was a threat balance between Fulani herdsman and some people of Gloomy and Sabo village.
On his part, the executive chairman of Miga local government, Bilia Dauda Garbau, appealed to security agencies to intervene fully and commended SEMA for their prompt response and assistance to the affected families.
The police commissioner provide enough police for us, and you are giving logistic and fuel for the action taken.
Meanwhile, the State Commissioner of Police, A.T. Abdullahi, said the government has set up a committee to manage farmer-herder conflict across the state, adding that the state's police command is working to see that all violators are arrested and brought to book.
There's an exit on PSRC, but like you rightly said, it's moribund. It's not working very well, but by the grace of God, we have started something about it. In fact, even today, I summoned some of the leaders. We had a meeting with them, very fruitful for that matter, and very soon to be reactivated and highly reactivated.
The incident has left the community in fear of potential clashes in the weeks ahead. From Jigawa, Ali Rabiu Ali, Trust TV News.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Thursday mourned the soldiers who were killed in an attack on an army base in Sabongida in Dambuwa local government area of Borno State. Members of the Islamic State West Africa province launched a pre-dawn attack in trucks and on motorcycles last Saturday on the base in Sabongari in Dambuwa. They set fire to the base along with army vehicles, military sources say, on condition of anonymity, as they are not authorized to speak on the incident. Fighter jets deployed from the regional capital, Maiduguri, some 100 kilometers away from the attack, struck the attackers as they retreated. The president, in a statement by the presidential spokesperson, Bayo Onanuga, expressed his profound sympathy to the military authorities following the loss of 6 brave soldiers during a pre-dawn attack by the terrorists on January 4th. He ordered a thorough investigation to uncover the circumstances that led to the unfortunate incident and ensure that it serves a valuable lesson to prevent similar occurrences. The Commander-in-Chief also commended the armed forces for their swift and decisive response, particularly the air component in launching effective retaliatory strikes against insurgents. The president also said the air raids resulted in the significant neutralization of numerous terrorists and the destruction of their assets as they attempted to flee. The president wants the military to proactively take the war to the camps of the bandits and terrorists. He particularly emphasized the northwest, where these criminals continue to threaten the lives and homes of innocent villagers. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has detained 10 of its officers in its Lagos Zonal Command following allegations of stealing operational items including foreign currency and gold exhibits. In a statement on Wednesday, the EFCC's head of media and publicity, Dele Oyewale, disclosed that the arrest followed directives from the agency's executive chairman, Ola Olukoyede. He confirmed that the officers are under investigation for items they could not account for, describing the move as part of efforts to rid the Commission of corruption. Sources reveal that the officers allegedly broke into the EFCC's exhibit room, stealing foreign currency, gold and other items. Oyewale stated that the investigators are making progress and assured that those found guilty will face internal disciplinary actions. This development comes shortly after the EFCC announced the dismissal of 27 personnel for fraudulent activities and misconduct. The action has been lauded as unprecedented since the Commission's inception in 2002. The non-governmental organization Journalists Against Corruption, JAC, commended the EFCC for its decisive action. The project coordinator, Kende Osifisan, praised the leadership of Ola Olukoyede for taking bold steps to sanitize the agency. A man identified as Nuhu Isa has been sentenced to 6 months in prison by the Chief Magistrate Court in Yola, Adamawa State Capital, for his role in instigating a mob action against officials of the Federal Road Safety Corps. The court found Isa guilty of criminally intimidating the FRS patrol team and instigating passengers to attack them while they were carrying out their duties. The defendant, who was a passerby, was arrested and arraigned before the court for obstructing marshals on duty and criminal intimidation, which is contrary to Section 10, subsection 9 of the FRSC Establishment Act of 2001. The court granted him the option of paying the sum of 20,000 naira as fine. The Borno State Commissioner of Police, Yusufu Muhammad, has assured of the command's determination to ensure peace, security and development as the Borno State government resettles displaced persons back to their ancestral homes. The commissioner disclosed this during the decoration of 84 promoted police officers approved by the Inspector General of Police. He admonished the officers to key into the Borno model to enhance restoration of peace and development, and the CP charged them to promote the police vision of police-centered policing, of people-centered policing, I beg your pardon, and professionalism, especially by shunning corruption and unethical conduct in the course of discharging their duties. The police commissioner, who described their promotion as historic, appreciated the Inspector General of Police and urged the members of the force to use their new ranks to inspire their colleagues and make the force proud.
This is a theater of operation. Borno State has witnessed almost 2 decades of insurgency. We thank Almighty God today, with the effort of the military, the police, and other security agencies, peace has returned to Borno State. And the vision of the present elected government of Borno State, under the leadership of His Excellency Professor Babagana Zulum, his vision is from now to 2027, all displaced persons will be returned to their ancestral home. Returning them to their ancestral home means that civil authority becomes very germane. And in that regard, you are advantage, you are the lead agency in terms of reclaiming the peace, security, and development of Borno State.
And in Katsina State, Governor Umar Dikkorada has reiterated his administration's commitment to reducing immorality and insecurity across Katsina State. The governor announced this during the passing out ceremony of 369 Hizbah Corps officers in the state. Here's the report packaged by Abdullahi Yamadi.
Governor Radda, represented by the Commissioner of Internal Security and Home Affairs, Nasiru Musa, described the local morality outfit as a milestone in Governor Radda's region for a safer and morally upright society. Governor Radda announced plans to train 400 more Hizbah volunteers to expand the corps reach to further enhance morality and maintenance of law and order. He urged the new officers to amplify discipline and integrity in the task of combating social vices such as drug abuse and prostitution, as well as other immoral vices, while calling on parents and community leaders to report immoral activities for prompt action. The government also pledged monthly stipends to motivate the Hizbah officers. The state commandant Katsina Hizbah board Aminu Abu Amar highlighted the religious significance of the Hizbah initiative, emphasizing its alignment with morality and a peaceful society. The provost of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps NSCDC Training School Katsina, Babangida Abdullahi Duzumma, applauded efforts by security stakeholders in tackling societal challenges. Reflecting on the transformation of the NSCDC from a voluntary group in 1987 to a pivotal government agency, Duzumma emphasized the need for collective action to combat drug abuse and other vices undermining societal values. The inauguration reinforces Governor Radda's dedication to promoting security, morality, and community-driven development in Katsina State.
You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Still to come. Delta State residents call for improved safety measures to prevent tanker explosion disasters. More on this and many other stories up ahead. Join us again. Welcome back to the news. Let's take another look at our headlines. The Nigeria Communications Commission has been meeting with telecom consumer groups over a potential tariff hike. 11 people have been killed and 31 houses burned in Jigawa communal clashes. The National Bureau of Statistics has revealed that it will introduce 3 new indexes in its monthly Consumer Price Index report. This was revealed on Thursday at the sensitization workshop on GDP and CPI rebasing organized by the Nigerian Economic Summit Group and the NBS in Lagos. In October, the NBS announced plans to rebase the GDP and CPI to reflect current realities and account for structural changes in the Nigerian economy. The new additions are expected to be part of the rebased Consumer Price Index. Against the backdrop of the devastating tanker explosion in Agbo Delta State, residents have called for stricter regulations on tanker drivers and their operations, as the recent incident has sparked widespread concerns and outrage, with many demanding actions from the government to prevent such tragedies from reoccurring. The tank explosion left a trail of destruction and devastation, with 4 lives lost and properties destroyed. Trust TV's Jonathan Awanye has more.
The incident has highlighted the urgent need for improved safety measures and regulations in the transportation of hazardous contents. Meanwhile, residents are urging the government to implement stricter regulations on tanker drivers, including regular training. This, they believe, will help reduce the risk of accidents and ensure that drivers are equipped to handle the challenges of transporting hazardous materials. In addition to stricter regulations, they are also advocating for the restriction of tanker movement to nighttime only. This, they argue, will reduce the risk of accidents during peak traffic hours and minimize the impact of any potential incidents.
The best way for the government to handle this situation is, firstly, employers of labor should employ the best hands when it comes to driving, and secondly, the operations of these truck drivers shouldn't be during the day, it should be only at night.
What I believe should be done, that we want to suggest, if it's possible, the government should bring out a policy where these heavy duty trucks can be moving only in the night, because I believe in the night, if something of this nation happen in the night, there will be less casualty compared to during the day. And also to the owners of those heavy duty trucks, they should make sure their trucks are in order. You can imagine a truck failing brake. There might all be indices of that truck not being in perfect condition knowingly to the drivers, but they will say they will manage it.
Other options, I think personally, I believe that the best option is the underutilized means of transport system we have in Nigeria, the waterways and the railway. We are not making use of them very well, and government needs to invest in that sector, in that transport system, because the roads, our roads, if you come to look at it, no matter what they do, they are over congested. You cannot start building 7 lanes, 6 lanes right now, or where you can have trucks going on their own separate lane. Even if you have that, you still have this kind of problem.
As the community continues to mourn the loss of lives and properties, residents remain steadfast in their demands for change. They are calling on the government to take immediate action to address the safety concerns surrounding the transportation of hazardous materials and to implement measures that will prevent such tragedies from occurring in the future. Jonathan Anwanyai, Trust TV News, Asaba.
Right, in other news, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tugga, has been meeting with Chinese counterpart Wang Yi and members of his entourage at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Abuja. The meeting is aimed at strengthening bilateral relations between Nigeria and China, and is also set to foster cooperation in key areas such as trade and investment, health, technology and infrastructure development. Delivering his opening address, Tugga pledged Nigeria's commitment to building a more resilient relationship with China. During his stay, Wang Yi is scheduled to hold high-level talks with government officials discussing pressing global issues, regional security and economic development. China's Foreign Affairs Minister received the visit underscored the Chinese commitment to enhancing its partnership with Nigeria, driving growth and promoting peace and stability in the region. In other international developments, firefighters in Los Angeles in the United States are battling several blazes in the city's suburbs, prompting the mandatory evacuation of more than 80,000 people. The fires were sparked by a combination of dry conditions and powerful winds. Currently, authorities say there is no possibility of bringing some of the fires under control. More than 2,000 structures have been burned, with 80,000 residents under evacuation orders. 5 persons have also been reportedly killed by the blaze. At least 6 people were crushed to death at a Hindu religious gathering in India, with several more injured, according to official statements. On Thursday, a huge crowd had gathered to collect entrance tokens to visit the Sri Vestatwa Swami temple in the southern state of Andhra Pradesh when the stampede broke out on Wednesday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi offered condolences to the families of the deceased. Deadly accidents are common at places of worship in India for religious purposes. In July last year, 121 people were killed in northern Uttar Pradesh state during a religious gathering. Another 112 died in 2016 after a huge explosion caused by a banned fireworks display marking Hindu New Year at a temple in southern Kerala state. Wednesday's incident comes days before the start of the Kumbh Mela, a 6-week Hindu festival of prayer and sacred bathing expected to be the largest religious gathering in history. Up to 400 million pilgrims are expected to attend. Talking sports now, Eric Sekushele, the newly appointed coach of the Nigerian Super Eagles, has been summoned by his current club, MC Oran of Algeria, following his decision to accept the Nigerian national team job despite being under contract with MC Oran. The former Mali national team coach was named head coach of the Super Eagles by the Nigeria Football Federation on Tuesday. The move has been a shock to the Algerian club, which is seeking stability, and the announcement has undermined its ongoing project, according to the club. Shele attended training with MC Oran on Wednesday morning, and the club quickly called for an emergency meeting with him to discuss the situation. His contract with MC Oran includes a clause that allows him to leave if offered a position with a national team. The clause was triggered when the Nigeria Football Federation made an offer, leading to his decision to accept the role as Super Eagles coach. Well, that is it. You're up to date with the latest news stories at this hour. Follow us for more news developments across our social media platforms. Also visit our website, trusttv.com, for the latest news, programs and documentaries. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. Thank you for your time.